Man, Rooster, it's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh my God! Welcome back, everybody.
Is this that show?
It is.
Nice, you guys made it.
We are back. No, we're gonna move topics here.
We've been on a political.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's got a little rough.
Right.
A little rough here.
Right, for real though.
It's the Christmas season, right? It's time for the new year. We got a new year coming up. We got an election year coming up. We're not diving into that.
That's what I was gonna say.
We're not diving into that because that is just a whole Pandora's box we don't need to open. But I don't know. I mean, what are you looking forward to for 24?
I'm looking forward to finish school.
Doctor.
Become a grown man. Doctor. I wish it worked that way. Like, as long as 8 years, regardless, you're a doctor.
Perfect. Perfect. You got to be an expert in something.
Right.
You've been practicing long enough.
Right, seriously. So yeah, I'm coming up on my last schooling finally, and then I gotta actually figure out what I'm gonna do.
Nice.
And so that'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. There's, especially in what I do, I don't know what to expect for 24.
Right.
So it's like, I would love to be able to plan it out and go, oh yeah, I'm going to be able to do this and
This is
this
what's
and
gonna
this.
happen.
And,
Yeah. That's the way I feel about
Nope.
I'm like I know like the next steps in my life coming up, and like buying a home and like securing a a good job and that kind of stuff, and I'm like I have no idea how any of that's gonna look next year. Like it hasn't been consistent enough
Right.
for us to have any idea. But
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people are kind of hinging on what it really looks like going forward, because I know people's plans over the last 3 years have just kind of gone upside down, and I don't want to go into the political into this. I'm just speaking of career wise and what's happened over the last 3 years, and I just hope the best for everybody. And so hopefully all of you. You have a prosperous year for 24, and you won't see us until after the new year. So, Happy New
I
Year!
think this is gonna be after the new year, definitely.
So, we will definitely come back with some more unique programming.
There's no shortage of content.
No, there is no shortage. Pull up any news article,
Literally.
we can read about it and go, okay, well that's out of control,
Right? That's why our show requires so little preparation. We're just like, oh, what happened this week?
Yeah, like what happened today. I mean, it's that point where it seems like what happens daily.
Literally, though. But also and I don't want to get too political with it, but the masking of what's actually going on with the charade of drama. That whole last episode made me think about that. Of like, there's so many little things that I'm unaware of and I haven't even thought about because I'm just getting flooded with political information.
Yeah, I've already received 3 political calls.
Oh yeah,
And
I've started getting the texts.
And I'm like, come on, this is not okay. This is not okay. This shouldn't happen. When you look at what's going on, I think every state should be independent from what it's doing, and as far as the whole country goes, and that the local issues need to be people's primary focus. And then of course you get the option of voting if you want to or not, and what that's going to look like in this upcoming November. Because I feel like I don't have enough popcorn. I don't have enough snacks.
I need more snacks.
I don't have enough snacks. I'm gonna have to go get some more snacks because I don't think it's gonna be enough. I hope everybody has a prosperous 24 going into the year and then finishing next year. But we'll have episodes that document otherwise.
That's been actually a big point with myself, like I've been trying to work on, rather than keeping my attention so focused on all these external things. It's just like narrowing my lens down to like my life and like things that I actually deal with on the daily, and like I feel like that's helped so much, like preventing, like making you constantly feel like you're in this state of chaos and like nothing's ever going to be solved, where when I've lowered my view just to me,
Right.
rather than trying to expand upon all these things that's going on all over the world,
Right.
I've been much happier.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because I just watched this whole documentary, and they follow these three influencers through social media, and you get to look on the inside of what their lives look like and how absolutely miserable they are.
Yeah.
In reality.
Because they're like creating this persona
Right.
for everyone else, right?
Right, and so they make a living by making everything else look great, and it's just depressing, you know, because they're never home. Their friend, you know, they don't really have any friends, and the friends that do travel with them are employed by them.
Yeah,
right,
it's
because they're
all for the image.
yeah, they're a
It's-
marketing company,
Uh-huh.
and it's just it's depressing.
What was this? What was this you were watching?
I don't know.
You didn't recognize any of the influencers,
No, no. But, you know, and they work for travel agencies, or they work for food companies, or they work for hotel companies, and, you know, they travel around, and they have the Instagram page and the Twitter account and this whole huge social media presence. You know, and they make commissions off of every sale and every click and everything else. And don't get me wrong, they're making great livings,
I'm sure they're just miserable though.
but they're horribly miserable.
Yeah.
And when you actually see, and the craziest thing is this one gal, you see her standing on this beach, and she's, you know, and they're taking photos of her, and you see the raw photos, right? And they just look like all of our photos, you know?
Yeah.
And on the odd time, you get the sun just right, or you get the image just right, and they look great. Everything else is just Photoshopped to hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just Photoshopped to hell. And there's one scene where I think she's in Italy, and she's on this beach, and there's got to be 5,000 people around her.
Really.
But the final imagery makes it seem like she's there all by herself, and she's got it all to herself.
And her life is so wonderful.
She's just loving it. And I'm like, oh, how absolutely depressing
Yeah.
is that? You know, and knowing that that's your life.
just constantly living in a fantasy of or a charade.
Yeah, and then you got to ask yourself, what does a person like that do when they leave that industry?
Yeah.
What do they do? What do they know how to do?
skills do you have?
Yeah, you know how to smile.
Yeah.
You know how to smile. Wear a certain set of clothes, or you know.
Maybe they should become lawyers with how well they are deceiving people.
Maybe so. Maybe so. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Or accountants.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, and speaking of that, because we never really touched on this, but we had Black Friday, we had Thanksgiving, going into Christmas season, and I've been watching the fiscal reports on that, and online sales again this year are through the roof. But as a whole, for disposable income, they're down quite a bit.
Really?
People are not spending as much money. So
On specifically online shopping?
well,
Is that-
just goods and services for the holiday season.
Okay.
So that's a strong indication of where we are economically as a country.
Everybody's saving, and
hmm
it's the telltale signs of a recession.
So I'm like, oh, wow, there you go. There you go. Other news for retail aspects, Mr. Musk has started releasing the Cybertruck.
Yeah, dude, I've been seeing so many videos on that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So there's a video floating around of the very first gentleman that received the Cybertruck, which is, if you haven't seen that, check that out. I still think they're ugly as shit.
Yeah, they're not very aesthetically, but I mean, the fact that somebody could walk up to me with an AK and I'd be all right.
I mean, hopefully they replaced the glass. Because when he came to demonstration,
it was a ball peen hammer.
hopefully they got that right.
Yeah.
Speaking of electric cars, though, GM announced they were cutting their production for electric cars by 50%.
Like 50% less cars.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, 50% less electric cars in production.
Wow.
They cut
Just
their
not
numbers
enough people
back.
are buying them.
Oh,
Or...
people don't want them.
It's funny how everyone says like, "Oh, boo fossil fuels, boo electric cars," and then they create electric cars and nobody fucking buys them.
Well, they're not affordable. I mean,
And they're not practical.
The average person can't can't afford them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just you're buying a vehicle. You gotta buy a whole charging system.
Exactly.
Or you have to be dependent on where you can charge that vehicle. You know, your distance is limited. I mean, that's the thing. You've got all these limitations that they have yet to actually conquer, and until they do that,
people are gonna always choose convenience every single time. People are gonna choose what's convenient to them. But that's like in our area, it's just not feasible.
No,
Like,
I mean, well, any place anywhere in the world, if you have cold temperatures, your battery life for those things is cut dramatically.
Yeah.
And so, in warm climates, yeah, they make great sense to a certain degree as long as you have the infrastructure, the roads specifically, to get to where you're going. That even narrows it even more because you have to think about how many third world countries or second world countries don't have infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know, it's reliable.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, yeah, you could go to Mexico, right? 98% of that country is dirt roads.
You go outside of Mexico City and you won't see a fucking asphalt road. That's hilarious because it's so true.
That's what it is.
Everywhere I've ever visited in Mexico, except for Mexico City, I don't know if I've ever seen a paved road.
It is. Good luck.
That's probably harsh. There are paved roads outside.
There are, but I mean, outside of like populous areas, there's no.
Yeah.
You're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, and you can only go 300 miles.
There's a reason they hold the Baja there. That's how your belt's getting to where it's going. That's why it's so expensive.
Right.
So, that's horrible. I shouldn't say that. That's funny. But no, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you buy something that you can't utilize to its full potential? And even people that own, I know lots of people that own Teslas, and off the freaking lot, you get 330 miles. No, you don't. No, you do not. No, you do not. I don't care what video you're watching. Most of them, because of the climate that you're in.
Or temperature, yeah.
Right.
Totally. You lose down to like 250, 200.
It affects everything.
That makes sense.
So,
and that's what sucks about, like, a 50s Chevy is still running today. You putting gas in it and it's still working. But those batteries, they have like a 20-year lifespan in ideal temperatures, It's not like those batteries are going to last forever, so.
Right. I mean, the thing that really bothers me is that with those types of cars, you're literally driving a giant vape. Because that's what the battery packs are. They're 1850 batteries.
If you pull them out, they're literally 18650s.
Yeah.
When I realized that, they're literally vape batteries. 18650s. You can look them up, and it's like
hundreds of them.
Hundreds and hundreds of them stacked in parallel.
And I'm like, seriously? This is the reason the Duracell bunny quits. It's like, screw this. I'm out. I'm out.
Jesus.
But, until they have a big breakthrough in that, which there has been, we should talk about that a little bit. It's been all over Science News here the last couple of weeks, is that apparently 2 labs are literally a couple steps away from your cold fission.
Really? How?
I don't know. They just keep talking about it. They're like, all they have to do, they're working on some sort of containment system. At this point, they figured the math out. They know exactly how to make the reaction continuous, but they have to figure out the containment.
For fission, what's the?
Or fusion.
That's what I was going to ask. Fusion. Okay, yeah.
Fusion.
But still, the most efficient fusion reactor is like the size of a warehouse right now.
Mm-hmm.
How are they gonna? I know that in the long term they're planning on reducing it down to so each home can have like a AC unit sized fission reactor. That's crazy. A fusion reactor, excuse me. That's why
fission.
That's why I was like,
Beavers, badgers.
when you said fission. When you said fission, I was like, what are they gonna put fucking uranium in the cars or what?
I'm like, I was the first time I read it, it was just a short little article, and I was like, yeah, whatever. A few days later, it popped up again, and it's a lab over in Europe or whatever, and they said they've got it down. They just have to figure out a containment system.
Yeah.
Just because the heat and the pressure
and the radiation probably
I don't know about that. I mean, it's not my realm.
Yeah.
We just need to call Data and Picard, and we'll figure it out. Get Scotty on the line.
Seriously though.
I mean, let's figure this shit out. But if they're that close to actually make an announcement, they're close.
Yeah, that's true. And I've been hearing a lot of stuff about fusion recently, like coming up and being more in the forefront. Like, we can figure that out and we get rid of the energy crisis, and it's like, I thought you were specifically going to go in the direction of like battery technology. Like there was some advancement in battery technology.
Well, I mean, if they learn how to do that, I mean, all it is scaling back to a certain degree. And yeah, you could have a vehicle that has an infinite fuel source.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right, and you wouldn't have to have, 500, or it's probably more than that, probably 1,500 freaking...
18650s?
Yeah, in a car.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's out of my realm, but if they're talking about it and they're making these constant announcements, they got to be close.
Yeah. I'm more like, I'm kind of excited and half worried. Half excited, half worried for full automation. Like once all the cars on the road are all working together simultaneously, and it's like you don't have to drive anymore. It's like there's gonna be no traffic. You can spend your commute to work, working or fucking around, doing whatever you want to do. And I'm excited for that aspect, but I also love driving so much that I'm like, having that taken away from me is not exciting. But
I will agree with you that I like driving, but the older I get, it would be nice to be the goddamn passenger. And I can actually enjoy the view of where I'm going.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, I've driven by things in the past few years where I've driven by them 100 times, right? And I never even knew they were there. And the one time that I go by because I'm a passenger, I'm like,
oh,
that's there?
That's been there.
Hold on. Pull over. I want to talk to him. You've been here 25 years? Son of a bitch.
Wow. That's hilarious.
But more important than that, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We will see you in 2024.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe. Please.
Yep. We love you guys. Thank you for watching.
Leave them comments down below. And check out that movie we were talking about in the last episode. Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind.
And then you'll think twice about an electric car. But until next time,
we gotta go.
We gotta go.
See ya. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to, that show.